Here's the latest report as to what Zebec has accomplished in the month of January in 2026. It's basically an update, even though nothing I say is financial advice, and I'll talk about the price of ZBCN later as I finish this first real quick. Now, here's the thing. Zebec recently released their monthly volume report. Now, they usually do this, and I feel like it's pretty cool because if we consider the start of 2026 when it comes to altcoins, it hasn't been the best, right? And a lot of people out there like to tell me that, oh, Zebec's done for. But I think sometimes these numbers kind of tell a different story that the charts really sometimes don't represent. Because let's consider this. Just in the month of January, by the way, I'm not talking about, in the past 12 months. No, just in January of this year, Zebec, in terms of the total card volume, it was around $64 million, right? I mean, that's pretty impressive. Not to mention, there was over 500,000 transactions. And keep in mind, the payroll volume for just January was around 48 million monthly, right? So that's pretty impressive. Also on top of that, the amount of enterprise clients at around 240. To be a little bit specific, it's actually exactly 241, but again, I just said it for simplicity's sake. But the thing is this, also on top of that, we have to consider there was over 20,000 issued cards. So that's the thing. When I take a look at Zebec overall, does that represent a project that's doing bad? I highly doubt it. I mean, if we don't take a look at the charts, for instance, right, if we kind of ignore how ZBCN is around 48 times lower than 10 cents, those statistics right there doesn't really indicate a project that's quote unquote doing bad, right? This is just my mindset. But of course, the charts, they showcase a different story because it doesn't really paint the picture of how Zebec is actually doing fundamentally. It sometimes only showcases the sentiment, but not really the fundamentals. But here's the thing. If I like the fundamentals and I feel like things are looking pretty good in terms of that, and actually at the same time, I'm able to dollar cost average into ZBCN while it's still being around 48 times lower than 10 cents, I'm not going to complain right there. That's actually party time for me because I'm looking to dollar cost average here. My mindset isn't to leave next week. No, that's not my mindset. My mindset is not going to be, what's going to happen next month because I have to leave. No, that's not my vibe. My mindset is, what could this be later on down the line? Maybe. It's not about, if it doesn't do anything in a week, I'm out. No, that's not my mindset. By me dollar cost averaging once a month anyways, I knew that I was going to have to probably wait for quite a while, so I'm not going to complain about something I voluntarily decided to do. If I have to wait, it's like, what can I do about it? It's like, for instance, I paint a wall. Let's say I paint like my room, right, the wall, and I'm complaining that I'm like, oh wow, why do I have to wait for it to dry? Well, it's literally part of the thing, right? I have to wait because I painted my wall. But I'm just saying, I can't complain about something I voluntarily decided to do. But besides that point, still having over 200 payroll enterprise clients, that's really not easy to achieve. Like a lot of other projects out there, like if we just ignore the payroll side of things, if we just consider like enterprise clients in general, like a lot of other projects out there, they struggle to get like 5, like let alone over 200. That's kind of impressive actually, in my opinion. So overall, when it comes to Zebec, I don't think it's doing bad at all, right? I mean, maybe it's not doing the best in terms of the charts, but neither is Bitcoin. So what, ZBCN's randomly going to go on a rally of its own? No way. Especially with its sentiment like right now, when the altcoin space is not doing the best. It's not a microcap. It's like sometimes people like to tell me, well, take a look at this random microcap that just randomly went on a rally. Well, okay, what does the project do? I'm a bit skeptical, right? What are the listings, right? What's really going on? Who knows, right? Zebec is not a microcap. It just can't randomly do that, especially as of right now, if the sentiment doesn't change. So with a project that has a market cap that is well over 100 million, right? That's not easy to do, especially at a time like right now. So I'm not worried that a random microcap is doing randomly something and ZBCN is not. I'm not worried because, again, it's a totally different thing. I'm not in this space for a microcap anyways. This is just my mindset. The charts sometimes, I don't think they really tell the full story when it comes to how well Zebec is doing fundamentally, but this is just my opinion.